how to win arguments every single time. Arguments are a lot of fun, especially if they're about interesting things. Arguing is a great way to practice your linguistic skills, your linguistic fighting skills, your linguistic ability to utterly demolish some of the dumb ideas that are floating around out there. In this video, we'll cover a very simple, very quick and dirty way to utterly destroy any argument you hear. There is one caveat though. You won't be able to defeat their argument with your argument. You won't be able to assert that your idea is better than their idea. That is absolutely possible, and you can absolutely learn how to do that. But that is a far more advanced skill, and it does require a little bit of practice. What you'll learn today is a technique that will show you how to demolish arguments without needing a counter argument. This, of course, is based on a couple of presuppositions. One is that most people do not have very many well-formed ideas in their brain. The way most people collect ideas and opinions is like this. They hear an idea or an opinion, and it feels good in their brain. They don't really question whether or not the idea or the opinion is logically sound or not. All they know is it feels good. It sounds good. It makes them feel good from an ego perspective. It feels good to them from a social status and social validation standpoint to express that idea in public. But the idea itself is almost always filled with holes. It's almost always filled with logical fallacies. But don't worry, you don't need to know anything about formal logic to defeat any argument you hear today. We'll go over a much quicker and dirtier technique. Be warned though, this technique can make people pretty angry. This is not a technique to win friends and influence people. This is a technique to absolutely obliterate people's most cherished ideas and beliefs. This is the technique you use when you run into a conversational bully who is madly in love with the sound of his own voice. The first step is to understand the difference between content and frame. The content is the idea itself, the words and sentences and descriptions that make up the idea. The frame around the idea is associated with the person expressing the idea. The frame is related to how strongly the person believes in the idea. For example, cult leaders have some of the craziest ideas you'll ever hear, but the frame around those crazy ideas is incredibly strong. We humans like to think that we are logical, but most of the time we really aren't. We are much more attracted to people with strong frames, even if those strong frames contain silly or even dangerous ideas, than we are to people with weaker frames, but better and more enhancing ideas. So right off the bat, assume that any argument you get into is not a logical battle. It is a frame battle. Their belief, the strength of their belief that their idea is true versus your belief, the strength of your belief that their idea is false. Most frame battles are emotional. You want to sell a car at a certain price, they want to buy the car at a cheaper price. You want to take a girl home, she wants to stay at the bar and for you to buy her more drinks. You want a raise from your boss, he doesn't want to give you a raise. You want to go for Italian food for dinner, your partner wants to go for Chinese food for dinner. You want something, your conversational partner wants something else. You both argue your idea, why your idea is better than their idea. But for quick and dirty idea destruction, it's critical to not get sucked into the emotional frame battle. The trick is to focus all your mental energy on their idea. Focus on the content, not the frame. And when you focus on the content of their idea, you are not trying to convince him that your content is better than their content. You are going to convince him that their content is at best an opinion. And you are going to do this with the meta model. This is a very simple linguistic tool to get more specific information when only vague information is presented. Remember how ideas get into our heads in the first place? It sounds good. The idea makes them feel good, but they have very likely spent very little time actually examining the idea that's in their brain. When you remain calm, not argumentative, even polite, and ask simple meta-model questions about their beliefs, their idea, they won't be able to answer them. Just keep asking simple, polite questions. Whatever their answer is to your meta-model questions, their answers will be filled with vague, non-specific descriptions. And just keep using meta-model questions to get specific information about those vague answers. What are some meta-model questions? What specifically? Why specifically? According to whom specifically? When specifically? For how long specifically? Let's take a basic idea, an example. The banana diet is the best diet. According to whom specifically? According to what measurement system? According to what specific metric of success? Is it the cheapest? Is it the most accessible? Is it the most delicious? Has anybody had problems with a banana diet? Now, a very common support statement of any argument is that it's already been proven. It's already been proven that the banana diet is the best. Proven by whom? Under what scientific constraints? Have any of the studies been replicated? What were the statistical parameters of the studies? Are there any detractors? Are there any negative aspects to the banana diet? Is it the best diet for everybody, no matter what? What about people who are allergic to bananas? That's the basic structure. Keep asking questions. Ask simple meta-model questions. Who specifically, why specifically, for how long specifically, until they can no longer answer your questions. This simple trick will allow you to win every argument. Understand that every argument is based on an opinion. Understand that arguments are really frame battles. Maintain your cool, keep asking meta-model questions, and they will eventually give up. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like, comment, and for more information, please visit mindpersuasion.com.